Is Capi Gaming capping? Is he legit, or is there something else going on? For those of you guys that don't know, Capi Gaming is probably one of the fastest growing PUBG Mobile YouTubers that play the game. We're talking worldwide. He is known for being the fastest tapper in the game. We're talking the M16, the SLR, the SKS, any weapon, even the M416, he will flip to single tap and it looks as if it's a fully automatic weapon, as you guys are seeing in the gameplay here. I do have a few clips that we're going to break down, and we're going to determine once and for all, is Capi Gaming legit or is he using triggers? Some of his harshest critics accuse him of using triggers. So I got a few clips for you guys. We're going to break down. We're slowing them down to like 1/100th of a second, so we can truly determine what is really going on here. All right, we're gonna talk about where the fire button is, where his ADS button is. We're gonna take a look at some hand cam footage, and we're slowing it down because you have to understand there's a human element when you are tapping, okay? So we're gonna be looking for things like little blimps, all right? We're breaking this down to the wavelength when you're looking at the little blimps, because going like this, there's going to be times where it's not going to be, where it's going to be 100% consistent. Whereas something like a trigger, you'll see the consistency will remain the same from start to finish. So here's a look at the very first clip. This is Capi going from apartments and now he's pushing school. And in this clip, he's going to be using the SKS, so we could really slow it down and really determine what is happening here. All right, so here's the very first one. Let's take a look. As he's pushing up, all right, he switches to the SKS. Look, let me actually turn this up. Let me turn this up so you guys can really hear it. So you can really hear the shots and you know what is exactly I'm talking about here. Let's take a look. Watch. All right, now we're gonna slow it down. You see that little bop, 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 bop. At the very end, a trigger would not be able to replicate this rate of fire if you listen very, very carefully. Turn up the volume if you guys haven't yet. Listen. You guys hear that? Look, watch this, watch. That little bit at the end there, and you heard it a few times at the end as well. A trigger, like I said, a trigger would not be able to do that. I'm going to show you guys, and we're going to show you guys examples a little bit later on in the video. Drop a like if you guys are enjoying the video. All right, here's another one. We're going to take a look. Listen very, very carefully. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. You don't want to look at me anyway. And just listen. Listen at the very end. Watch. At the very end. You guys see that? That little blimp at the end? A trigger would be bop, 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 but you can see there's a slight blimp when you can see that he's firing at the very end. It's almost like out of nowhere, there's like a random, almost like a double tap, where again, a trigger would not be able to replicate this type of rate of fire. Okay, all right, now here's a look at a couple like hand cam gameplay. Okay, what this dryer with the frick, I don't know what this hair dryer is that he's using here or what even it is. I imagine just for show, you know, just to make sure that people are watching the first few seconds so they continue watching the rest of the short. But here's this little thing right here, probably, you know, just trolling a little bit, but watch. And another thing about this, you have to look at the consistency. All right, you'll notice on his iPad, just like we saw in the previous two clips, there's no fire button, just like here, which I'm gonna explain to you guys a little bit later on. So take a look at this clip, hand cam. All right, watch it. And again, I have the audio muted just because of copyright. So watch, same thing here at Miramar. Boom, 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 boom. And we slowed it down where every time he's flicking the fire button, a bullet is coming out of the other end of the rifle. All right, now this was another big one because some of his harshest critics will say, well, how can he tap using an iPad, right? How can he tap this fast, like in a CQC situation, but also move your thumb? Try to go like this and then move your thumb like in a CQC situation. So firing the button, but then also controlling the direction of your character. You wouldn't be able to do it. You'd be like all over the freaking place. And as you guys can see right here, Capi Gaming uses gyro on his iPad. Just take a look. And you can see the way his movement is, it matches perfectly. It's in sync with with his avatar right here. So go ahead and watch this. And you can see him do a drop shot as well, where he really turns it around. So right here, all right, there's his taps. And right here, he gets a drop shot, leans it to the right, leans it to the left. So that's how he's able to use the M16 on single fire in a CQC situation, because he's not controlling the movement like you see on a lot of iPad players don't use gyro. He does. I don't know if this is an iPad mini or what size this is, but clearly he's using gyro. That's how he's able, to aim his weapon and move his character around. All right. And you saw it was on single right there. So we're going to turn this one up. So this is how he's actually doing it. And like I said, it's all about consistency. Look at his iPad on the firing range. He has, as it appears, there's no fire button, right? He has the opacity down to 0. Here's the settings. This is so crucial, this part right here. Notice the opacity is down to 0. Watch what he does. Flips it to 100, and it perfectly matches the time from when he entered the lobby to when he did the settings, and now he's back, and now look where his fire button is. Now you can see it. What I'm guessing, I don't know, I can't speak on Capi Gaming's behalf, but what my guess is the fire button, as well as some other buttons like the ADS button, for example. He has the opacity turned down all the way to 0. My guess is so his view is not obstructed, so he can see better. Personally, what I would do in his situation to really shut the critics up, his biggest critics, is to turn the fire button up like on a live stream. Turn the opacity up so they can see the placement of the fire button. But again, it's probably it's going to be hindering his gameplay and won't be able to see as well. So here we go. Watch. So every time. He's not tapping. A lot of people think he's tapping like this. He's not. What he's doing is he's swiping down and then up. So basically one swipe, he's firing the fire button 2 times. He's not tapping like this, which a lot of people think he is if you just watch the hand cam gameplay. There you go. And if you look closely, if you look at the seconds, it matches. This is not sped up. Because if it was sped up, you would see the seconds here in the upper left-hand corner would also be sped up. But here, they're not. It truly is incredible. I mean, honestly. This might be one of the biggest things here. If you're being accused of using triggers, who actually are, the last thing you'll ever do is show yourself with triggers. That'd be like stealing a car, driving away, and then coming back to the crime scene when the police are there with the car that you just stole. You're instantly you're guilty. But here he's demonstrating what the trigger actually looks like when it's attached to the iPad. And you guys will see when we're talking about the blimps in the sound waves. You'll see it's 100% consistent and there's no discrepancies. Just take a look.
Around 25 euros from Amazon. That's the only electronic trigger for iPad that I found on Amazon. Level 1. Level 2.
See that? Watch. Look at that.
Level 3.
Level 3.
Level 4.
Goes up to level 5. Watch.
Level 5, the fastest mode.
Watch.
Can you see it? The button reacts wired and not smoothly like mine.
You see? That is everything right there. And you also notice he has to change the position of his fire button to be in the upper left hand corner just so it can reach, where when he's actually playing, like you guys saw in the training grounds there, the fire button is centered where he'd be actually holding the iPad and flicking. But you can see the trigger, the consistencies are it's too perfect. Amazing. Look at,
For all my haters.
look, dunking on the haters right here, bro. Look at that. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Like I said, the fastest growing YouTuber on the in all of PUBG Mobile, Capi Gaming. It's like, I swear, it was like a few months ago he was celebrating 100,000 subs. Now he's well over 400,000 subscribers. And what's amazing is in a game that's 5 years old, he was able to find a niche, something very unique, which is something important because let's be honest, everybody these days are content creators. So you always have to find different ways to stand out. The way he stands out is by being the fastest tap player ever. You know, whether it's M16, SLR, SKS, anything, taking an M16 or even a Groza, flipping it to tap fire. You got Ace Lawrence, who's synonymous with, you know, shotgun gameplay, right? Ace Lawrence, shotgun gameplay. Rolex, he doesn't lose. He is synonymous with winning all the time and never losing. Me, I'd probably be synonymous with probably my laugh, probably my contagious laughter. And you got Capi Gaming, Capi Gaming, the fastest tapper on planet Earth. And what do you guys think of the footage? What do you guys think of Capi Gaming? We saw the hand cam footage. We slowed the clips down to 1/100th of a second. We looked at the wavelengths to determine whether he's using triggers or not. And it is safe to say Capi Gaming is 100% legit. And what's amazing, he was able to master something that is very, very unique, which is tap fire. And let's just be honest, it's entertaining as hell to watch somebody do something like this with an M16. And of course, if you guys enjoyed this breakdown and you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys go ahead and drop a like. I'll have a link to Capi Gaming's channel down in the description, as well as all my socials are down there as well. But until the next one, this has been Riggs.